In formidable fashion, Lewis Hamilton has won his 7th World Championship after a wet and wild race at the Istanbul Park circuit, taking the race win as well. He was joined on the podium with two of the underdogs of this year, Sebastian Vettel and Sergio Perez, in what was a memorable moment in Formula One history. A recent resurfacing of the track in Turkey combined with wet weather and tyre warming issues led to an intense and exciting return to the circuit, where some excelled and others were sent spinning. Here's our winners and losers from the Turkish Grand Prix. Undoubtedly, our biggest winner of today is Lewis Hamilton. Equaling Michael Schumacher's record of 7 world championships is no easy feat, and Lewis did it in a spectacular fashion. Hamilton started in 6th following Mercedes' worst qualifying result in 7 years, and despite a strong start moving him into 3rd, he would drop back to 6th after going wide. He then moved to 5th after a dreadful spin for Max Verstappen while attempting to pass Sergio Perez, before moving up to 3rd when Vettel pitted and Alex Albon joined his teammate in adding to the spin total for the day. A second stop for Lance Stroll handed Hamilton 2nd, before he surged past Perez on lap 37 to snatch the lead, opting to then stay out on his old intermediate tyres and comfortably pull clear of the rest of the pack to claim his 94th victory. A huge congratulations to Lewis Hamilton on his mind-blowing 7th World Championship, and to Mercedes for completing the double. On a day where his teammate reigned supreme, Valtteri Bottas had an absolute disaster. It was a nightmare start to begin with, launching himself from 9th on the grid down to the first corner only to tangle with the Renault pair and fall to 18th. It was then a case for survival for the Finn, who desperately needed to outscore Hamilton by 8 points to keep his championship hopes alive. However, it was not meant to be for Bottas, who would spin a total of 6 times, be lapped by his teammate and finish a lowly 14th. Sergio Perez made an airtight case for a seat next year as he held on to finish 2nd and moved himself up to 4th in the Drivers' Championship. Perez stayed out on a set of inters for 48 laps, survived an attack from Max Verstappen, and held off a late attack from the Ferrari duo to cling on to 2nd. This was Perez's first podium of the season and his best finish since the 2012 Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Surely he will receive a phone call from Austria soon. Red Bull endured a torrid race in Istanbul despite being the fastest car on track for the majority of the race. After recovering from a dreadful start, Verstappen was favourite for the win as he rapidly hunted down Sergio Perez, who would run over the curbs and lose control of his RB16. Verstappen then flat-spotted his tyres and was forced to stop, falling to 8th before eventually recovering to take 6th. Teammate Alex Albon was almost on the way to a potential win until he suffered a spin at turn 4 on lap 34, leaving the Anglo-Thai racer to finish in 7th behind his teammate. On a day where everyone else was spinning, Sebastian Vettel was one of the very few to keep it on track and drive a brilliant race in the treacherous conditions. A strong start from Vettel allowed the German to cruise into 4th from 11th on the opening lap, and he avoided any errors to hold position, only succumbing to Hamilton for track position later on. After being overtaken by teammate Charles Leclerc later in the race, Vettel stayed in the hunt as the two Ferraris verged closer to Sergio Perez. But a late lunge on Perez backfired on Leclerc as Vettel snuck by to snatch 3rd spot on the podium. This marked the 4-time world champion's first top 3 result of an otherwise disastrous season. It was a day of what could have been for Lance Stroll, who after taking a momentous maiden pole position yesterday, ended up finishing a dull 9th. Stroll had a brilliant getaway at the start, pulling away from the pack to achieve a lead of over 10 seconds from the others. However, once Stroll pitted for his first set of intermediates, he would then suffer from excessive graining and was forced to pit again for a new pair of inters, but struggled with the same issue again, plummeting down the grid. It was a bitterly disappointing end for what would have been an impressive weekend for Stroll nonetheless, and it would have hurt even more to see his fellow teammate Sergio Perez on the podium in 2nd. Who was your biggest winner and loser from today? Were you impressed by Lewis Hamilton equaling Michael's 7 world championship records? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Formula One content.